Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sound Mind podcast, where we dive into the fascinating world of music psychology. I'm your host, Sophia, and as a music psychologist, I'll be guiding you through everything you've ever wanted to know about music. So whether you're a music lover or just interested in the science of sound, you're in the right place, so stick with us. So today's episode is all about innovations in music tech, and more specifically, music health tech. Now, I wanted to do this kind of episode every now and again just to keep you guys in the loop of how music psych research is influencing different fields and kind of driving them forward. So today I wanted to focus a little bit on healthcare. It's such an exciting time to be at the intersection of sound and science. I feel like every time I read something new, my mind is blown. It's amazing. So I wanted to dive into some of the most cutting edge technologies and different startups that are using music in ways that you might not have ever imagined. From AI powered playlists that can reduce stress and anxiety to music interventions that support new mums, people living with dementia, and even psychedelic therapy. So I've picked 5 different companies to touch on today, but before we get into the specific innovations, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So music health tech is an emerging field sitting at the intersection of neuroscience, psychology, medicine, and sound technology. It's all about using music in measurable, intentional ways to support health and well-being, from treating neurological disorders and reducing anxiety to improving sleep and enhancing focus. But what's really exciting is this isn't just some feel-good pseudoscience. We now have decades of research which proves that music can affect the brain in powerful ways, activating reward centers, regulating emotion, and even aiding physical rehabilitation. And of course, if you're a regular here at the Sound Mind, you already know all of this. So, with the rise of wearable tech, machine learning, and personalized sound environments, we're now seeing these insights being turned into real-world tools and therapies, which I think is so exciting. It's a space that's gaining serious traction, whether that's in hospitals integrating music interventions, startups that are building sonic wellness apps, or even clinical trials which explore music as a prescribed treatment. And like I said, today I want to explore some key innovations that are kind of at the heart of it all. I also just want to say before we get into it that I have not been sponsored by any of these companies. At times, it honestly may sound like I have, but honestly, I am just so excited about the things they're doing that I think they need to be shared. So yeah, that's exciting. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Music Health. Now, this is a mission-driven company at the forefront of the music and mental health space. They're led by a team of musicologists, scientific researchers, and tech innovators who all share one vision: to make personalized music as therapy accessible to everyone. Their focus isn't just on making people feel better through music, it's all about deeply integrating music into mental health care, using science-backed methods to support people's emotional and cognitive well-being. Now, at the heart of what they do is something called music wellness technology, and this is the tech foundation that powers their entire suite of digital experiences. It lives at the intersection of music therapy and digital health, and it was designed to address a range of conditions from anxiety and stress to dementia and postpartum recovery. But what makes their approach really stand out is actually their technology, which is called Precision Music. And this is an AI-powered system that doesn't just play random bits of calming music. It actually learns about you. It considers your personal history, your emotional state, your background, even your cultural influences, and then it delivers music that's tailored to meet you exactly where you are. And this isn't just about static playlists. One of their most exciting features is something called responsive well-being tuning. And this technology uses real-time biometric data, so think about things like heart rate or blood pressure, and that's used to assess your emotional balance or your current emotional state at that time. And based on that, it responds dynamically with the right kind of music at the right time to help regulate your mood or energy levels. It's kind of like having a music therapist in your pocket, constantly adjusting to support your brain and body in real time. And it's so incredible that it's just packaged in a simple, user-friendly interface, meaning that even the most advanced music therapy tech is still completely accessible. And that's really the main thing here. So whether you're a new mum, a dementia caregiver, or just someone looking for a healthier way to manage stress, it's such a great way to kind of be in tune with that and just be able to gain the benefits without actually physically going out to a music therapist. Now, Music Health have got several different experiences that are powered by their precision music technology. So let's have a closer look at some of those. Starting off with one called Lullaby. Now, this is actually something targeted towards mothers. Motherhood is one of the most emotional, complex journeys that someone can go through. And of course, it's different for everyone. And that's why Lullaby is such a powerful tool. It's a music-based intervention app designed specifically to support women at every stage of their motherhood journey, from conception and pregnancy to postpartum and early childcare. So using their precision music technology, Lullaby offers support in a number of really meaningful ways. First of all, it helps to ease pain and manage anxiety during labor, which is incredible. The second is it helps to enhance mood and emotional well-being throughout pregnancy. It also supports bonding between mother and baby and also promotes postpartum recovery with music that soothes, grounds, and energizes you. It's like a musical support system that evolves as you do, intuitively meeting your changing needs across the different kind of seasons of motherhood. There's absolutely tons of research on how music can be used across these different stages. So it can be used for pain management, and that's been proven through research. Music really helps to bond a mother or any parent really with their child. And that's really a key part of human nature and something that we as humans have used to connect throughout the whole of history. So it really touches on something evolutionary. And I think it's absolutely revolutionary, this technology, and absolutely amazing that we're able to apply it to such contexts as well. The next experience that Music Health have available is one called Vera, which is personalized music therapy for dementia care. Now, this is actually Music Health's very first digital experience and one that's already making a huge impact in dementia care. Vera was created to support both caregivers and those living with dementia by delivering deeply personalized and meaningful music. It generates what they call the soundtrack of your life, a playlist made up of songs that hold emotional significance, even if those memories have faded with time. And this is a principle that, if you've listened to the podcast previously, you will know that I'm super passionate about. I always mention this UK charity called Playlist for Life. They do something very similar. They help caregivers to create meaningful playlists for those living with dementia in order to improve quality of life and really reap those musical benefits. And it's always something that I encourage you as listeners to do as well, because it's such an incredible tool for well-being in general and not just necessarily for dementia patients. But okay, I always get sidetracked when I talk about music and dementia because honestly, it's one of my biggest passion areas and I used to work in the field as well. So I've seen those benefits firsthand. So when I see a product like this, I just get really excited. So, as I was saying, these personalized playlists, Vera actually uses AI to uncover the right music by pulling together data on a person's age, cultural background, first language, and music preferences, like their favorite artists or genres. And from this, it builds a soundtrack that can trigger long-lost memories, boost mood, and even enhance motor function and sleep quality. Now, Music Health's co-founder Stephen Hunt actually described Vera as a music detective. It finds those long-lost songs that a person may have loved decades ago but forgotten about entirely. Sometimes their family or carers aren't even aware of them, but the emotional and neurological response is still there, and that's pretty remarkable. It really fills that gap that perhaps the manual work might not be able to do. And actually, what's even more exciting is through a strategic partnership that they have with Universal Music Group, Vera has access to one of the world's largest music libraries, giving users the opportunity to really explore the deeply personal and expansive musical selections that span multiple generations and cultures as well, which is incredible. Also, as someone who's previously worked at Spotify and has also spoken to some other founders of similar companies, I guess, in the field, music licensing is quite frankly the most complicated part of building a product like this. Of course, there's all the research to back up the benefits of music and kind of putting that into practice. Actually building the app is the easy part compared to actually obtaining the licenses for these music pieces. So it's absolutely incredible that they got a partnership with Universal, because that just makes everything possible. So yeah, amazing work. This kind of intervention is absolutely game-changing, not just for quality of life, but also for day-to-day caregiving. It turns music into a tool that brings people back to the present. And of course, music already has that power. But I think just having that as an accessible tool that takes almost no effort to implement, if only for a few minutes at a time, it's absolutely incredible and so powerful. So yeah, just amazing stuff. Now, the last product that I want to talk about by Music Health is one called MoveFit. And this is something designed for working out. It's not actually out yet, it's coming very soon, but it's in the pipeline, and it's an adaptive music intervention app designed to transform your workouts by basically syncing sound to the rhythm of your body. Now, MoveFit works with the precision music technology to deliver time-specific music intervals that are tailored to your unique physiology. So it uses real-time biometric data like heart rate and movement to deliver music that matches your energy and supports your goals. So that means that it knows when to give you a powerful musical push during those certain phases of your workout, and when to help you recover with calming, more tempo-regulated soundscapes. You can also create personalized workout sessions where music becomes actually part of your performance strategy rather than just kind of background noise. And this, again, it adjusts in real time to help you move better, breathe deeper, and just stay mentally focused throughout your session. And this just sounds absolutely amazing. I'm definitely the type of person that cannot work out without a good playlist. It's literally my worst nightmare when I go to the gym, and honestly, I have this problem more than I like to admit, that one of my AirPods doesn't charge properly, it's dead, and then I can't listen to music. It just messes everything up. And I think we can all admit that gyms just don't play good music. So something personalized to your physiology and your workout routine is such a game changer. And yeah, I mean, difficult to make excuses with something like that, right? So that was Music Health. And next up, I want to talk about SingFit. And this is one of the most exciting intersections of music, health, and tech that I've come across, especially when it comes to active music engagement. And I think it's just because it's such a simple concept, but it just works. SingFit isn't just a playlist or a passive listening experience. It's a clinically backed, actually award-winning platform that uses singing as a form of therapeutic intervention. It's currently used in care settings, also in speech and occupational therapy, and also by caregivers at home. Now, at the heart of the SingFit idea is something brilliant. So I did a whole episode on this previously, but singing engages more areas of the brain than passive music listening alone. So you're activating your auditory cortex, motor cortex, and language centers all at the same time. And this makes it especially useful for people with cognitive impairments like dementia, or even those recovering from strokes, where re-engaging speech and memory functions is absolutely critical. And their product is entirely based on such research, and honestly, that's what makes it so amazing. I actually heard about the product at a conference that I was attending in Berlin last year called The Future of Arts in Medicine and Health. And I was just like, wow, this is incredible. It's basically like a glorified karaoke app. Now, they offer a few different products, each designed for different settings. So the first one they have is something called SingFit Prime, and this is used in care homes and in group environments. It's a structured program that combines singing with movement and also reminiscence-based activities. And it includes something they call lyric prompting. And this is so that participants don't have to rely on memory alone. And it also allows people with memory loss to take part in music making in an empowering way. We actually got to try this out at the conference as well, and it was so fun. I enjoyed it so much, and it really kind of made me emotional. It was like a hall of all of us just singing along with one of their programs, and it was amazing. And that was what made me realize that something so simple can be just so incredible for those kind of environments. Then they have something called SingFit Studio Pro, which is designed for licensed therapists. This version supports a more targeted speech, language, or occupational therapy goals, and is built to meet clinical documentation requirements, which is actually pretty rare, I want to say, in music tech. I think products are usually designed to be more accessible for everyday use rather than actually be designed for the use of therapists. So that's pretty incredible to see as well. Then finally, they have SingFit Studio Caregiver, which is a home-based version, which is perfect for families. It empowers caregivers to use music to spark joy and connection with their loved ones, even in the face of memory loss or those communication challenges that come with that. Now, I just wanted to insert a clip here of SingFit's co-founders, Rachel Francine and Andy Tubman, talking about their creation journey and just the premise behind the company itself. It's definitely best told in their own words because turns out their dad was a large inspiration for the premise itself. So yeah, let's hear a little bit about that.
Our dad, Lou, he was like what we called a crazy inventor, but would now be called a serial entrepreneur. In addition to that, he was also an opera singer. There's a guy in the opera who would prompt the words of the songs to the singers right before they needed to sing them. And my dad wanted the opera prompter in the car with him.
So he could be this lazy student and learn his, librettos in the car while driving was his concept.
I think you still have this around somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, I have it.
The first SingFit prototype. My dad did have this inkling of this idea that singing was really good for you in a lot of different ways. But at the time, the sort of whole technology infrastructure was not there yet to really realize his dream.
Cueing system. The word cue not only acts as a way to feed people the lyrics, but it also acts as a way to actually cue when to sing, which enables everybody from folks with typical brains to late stage dementia to actually engage in a singing process spontaneously.
But what I love about SingFit is that it goes beyond entertainment. It's about functionality, using music to improve communication, cognition, social connection, and even mood regulation. And it's scalable. They've designed the product so you don't actually need to be a trained music therapist to use it. Activity directors, caregivers, even family members can pick it up and start making a real difference in someone's life through song. But it can also be used by therapists as a tool, and that's absolutely amazing. And I love that they've designed for both sides of the coin. It's such a powerful reminder that music isn't just something that we consume, it's something that we do, and doing it together can be so deeply healing. Now, next up on the list, we have MediMusic, and this is a UK-based health tech company that's doing something pretty remarkable, prescribing music like medicine. Now, at first glance, it might just sound like another relaxation playlist, But this is way more advanced. So MediMusic uses AI and biometric feedback to generate precision-engineered playlists that can reduce stress, anxiety, cognitive impairment, and even pain in clinical settings. Now, music has been proven to reduce anxiety by up to 44%, pain by 29%, and also a resulting reduction in the need for relevant drugs by 24%. So, safe to say it's been proven effective, and these are all the core statistics behind MediMusic. So, here's how it works. Patients are fitted with wearable devices, often tracking heart rate variability, or HRV, which is a key indicator of stress. And then something called MediBeat then uses that biometric data to dynamically adjust the music in real time. So if your body isn't responding as predicted, say your HRV isn't shifting, something called the digital drip swaps out the next song in the playlist for something more effective. And that might mean bringing the tempo down faster or taking a gentler approach depending on the use case. This feedback loop creates a personalized music journey that adapts to your physiology, essentially prescribing music the way that we prescribe medication. And this is not just theoretical, it's been tested and proven. So in trials with the NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK, MediMusic was shown to reduce anxiety by up to 20% in just minutes. It's already being used to help calm patients before surgery or during dementia care as well. Imagine a world where instead of or alongside a sedative, you get a playlist tuned to your body, which helps you feel grounded and safe. That's absolutely amazing. It's non-invasive, it's something universal, and I think that it's incredible that companies like this already exist and are testing something so innovative and exciting. From a music psych perspective, it taps into the core of how our bodies entrain to music. So that's when our heart rate, breathing, and even brainwaves can synchronize to the beat of the music. And MediMusic turns that idea into a medical protocol. And as someone who's worked in music and mental health, I find this so promising. It's a future where sound isn't just a nice extra or a nice to have in medical care. It's part of the prescription, and I think that's incredible. Now, next up on the list is a company that's also reimagining how we use music for mental wellness with the help of AI. And this is a company called Lucid Therapeutics. Lucid sits at the intersection of music, machine learning, and mental health. And their mission is simple but powerful: to unlock music's immense potential to support emotional well-being. Simple enough, right? So it actually all began with co-founder and CTO Aaron Labe, who reports turning to music as his main coping mechanism during a period of personal mental health struggles that he had at university. And that experience sparked the vision behind Lucid, to create technology that could help others access music not just for enjoyment, but for healing. And what Lucid is doing, it goes far beyond the typical chill playlist. They're building emotionally intelligent music therapy tools powered by artificial intelligence, biometric data, and effective computing. And their core tech includes two proprietary systems. First off, the Effective Music Recommendation System, which is a closed-loop AI engine that dynamically generates and adjusts playlists to guide users from their current emotional state to a more desired one. So let's say you're feeling anxious and want to feel calm. Lucid's system analyzes that emotional trajectory and curates a kind of musical path to get you there. And that's actually a key premise for music therapy as well, one of the key practices, starting off with music that reflects your current emotion and then building up to music that reflects your desired emotion. And then they have the other system called the Biological Music Information Retrieval. And this is a deep learning system that decodes how the body biologically responds to music. It helps Lucid understand which sonic features trigger specific physiological outcomes, whether that's relaxation, focus, or even emotional release. And actually, all of this is delivered through instrumental, non-vocal music. So that's ambient, lo-fi, neoclassical, world music. Actually, music that isn't found on any streaming platform. And this is actually one of the main differences between Lucid and Music Health and MediMusic. I did mention the whole licensing issue earlier, right? And maybe it's intentional, maybe it's not, but like I said, it's very difficult to obtain those. Very costly, a lot of legal stuff involved. But yeah, of course you can still reap therapeutic benefits with non-licensed music. It's just for a different purpose. And if the purpose is relaxation, 100%, it totally makes sense. So this has been designed from the ground up to support mental well-being and actually has on board composers and scientists collaborating to optimize every single track. So it's absolutely effective. In just one session, actually, users have reported up to a 16% reduction in anxiety, with many actually preferring it over traditional meditation practices. So that's really incredible and shows how it's already reaping such amazing benefits. Lucid also weaves in special sound frequencies called binaural and monaural beats into their music. They've actually developed a unique method that blends these sounds smoothly into tracks, so you don't actually even notice them, but they still have an impact. And this is just one part of their wider innovation efforts. They've submitted 3 patents so far, so one for how they embed brainwave-altering sounds into music, another for creating playlists that can guide your mood, and a third for measuring how deeply someone gets absorbed or lost in the music. And what I find so exciting here is, of course, none of these innovations are just about passive listening. It's all about interactive, adaptive, personalized music therapy. So a system that learns from your body, understands your emotions, and gently supports your mental health through sound. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Resonance RX, which is a geriatric mental health platform developed by Lucid to support the emotional well-being of older adults through this personalized, AI-powered audio experience. So at its core, Resonance RX is about reducing neuropsychiatric symptoms such as anxiety, agitation, and emotional distress using music as medicine. It's clinically informed therapeutic audio designed to meet the unique mental health needs of older adults, including those living with memory loss disorders. And what makes Resonance RX especially powerful is its use of facial mapping software to observe how patients respond to recognizable music. So this biometric input allows the system's AI to craft highly individualized playlists that soothe, calm, and reconnect. Whether it's jazz from the 1950s or even a lullaby from childhood, the platform aims to trigger memory, reduce agitation, and promote emotional stability. Each session is tailored to the person's mood, musical preferences, and even era-based tastes, drawing from Lucid's extensive research in affective computing and biological music response. So this AI-driven process ensures that the experience is not only emotionally resonant, but also therapeutically effective. It actually reminds me a lot of Vera that I mentioned in the section about music health technologies, and the way that Vera adapts to personalized characteristics is very similar to Lucid Therapeutics' approach here as well. So you can see the similarities between these different companies because at the end of the day, they're all built on really similar research and actually some of the same research. So of course there's going to be similarities between them. But when it comes to Lucid Therapeutics' Resonance RX, it really offers a more holistic approach to senior wellness. So it actually integrates guided mindfulness exercises, which promote presence and focus. It also includes audio-based cognitive behavioral therapy to support emotional insight and resilience, wellness podcasts to engage the mind and nurture reflection, And it also has routine emotional check-ins to encourage this sense of ongoing self-awareness. And all of this is delivered through this simple, at-home digital interface, again, keeping up this theme of accessibility. And what's even more exciting is it's actually available via prescription from some eligible healthcare providers across the US. And this really excites me because it means that we're seeing this larger scale belief in music as medicine. People are starting to believe that we can actually prescribe this because the research is there, the benefits are there. So this just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's absolutely amazing and truly is the definition of accessibility. But overall, I would say it's a true example of a modern model for elder care. It's personalized, it's holistic, and it's profoundly human. Now, moving on to our final innovation of today's episode, a company called Wavepaths. Now, this is a really interesting one. If I caught your ears in the beginning when I said psychedelics, this is the moment. So, Wavepaths is actually one of the most fascinating companies working in the music and health tech space right now. And what makes them different is their belief is that music isn't just background noise in therapy. It's an active part of your healing process, and they treat music like a co-therapist. Their approach is grounded in the idea that music has always played a powerful role in emotional, spiritual, and medicinal practices throughout human history. And now that role is being revived in modern therapies, especially psychedelic-assisted therapy. So the company was founded by Dr. Mendel Kaelen, who led pioneering research at Imperial College London, showing just how vital music is in shaping a patient's emotional journey during psychedelic therapy. And his work showed that music can help guide people through complex experiences, making therapy more effective and transformative. So based on this research, Wavepaths built a platform specifically for therapists and clinicians. It lets them personalize music in real time during sessions, tailoring the sound to each client's unique emotional needs, almost like extending their therapeutic presence through music. Together with a global community of researchers, therapists, and musicians, Wavepaths is helping to shape what they call experiential medicine, where healing happens not just through talk or medication, but through meaningful and immersive experiences. So the core concept here is that Wavepaths is meant to be adaptable, it's meant to be flexible, and it's already being used in such a wide range of therapeutic settings, including psychedelic-assisted therapies, ketamine therapy, but also traditional psychotherapy and psychiatry, breathwork and body-based practices, and also palliative care and end-of-life support, even birth care. Because it's adaptable, it's naturally been adopted by hospitals, hospices, wellness centers, and different private practices, honestly, all over the world. And what I love is that they're not just building tech, they're also contributing to the overall science in the field. They work with top universities across the world on clinical trials that explore the role of music in psychedelic therapy. And their tech is actually being used in research on compounds like MDMA, helping to build real evidence for how music can support mental health. Now, I don't want to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert in music and psychedelic therapy. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the ins and outs of things, but I highly encourage you, if you're interested, to check out their website. They have so much detailed and interesting information on each of their different therapies. So definitely go through that and have a look through and learn about the space because it is truly fascinating. But at its core, it's a movement. Their vision is to redesign mental health care into something more human, more personalized, and something more meaningful. Instead of this one-size-fits-all approach, they offer this deeply relational approach where music supports the therapist and together they support the person in front of them. And they do this with extremely innovative approaches, all done in controlled environments, of course. But that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed diving into these incredible music tech innovations. I know I did. It's clear that we're just scratching the surface when it comes to unlocking music's potential as medicine, and the way that technology is driving this forward is nothing short of inspiring and exciting. I'd honestly love to bring some of the founders behind these ideas onto the show in the future. Let me know if that's something you'd be into, because that's definitely my long-term vision for the Sound Mind overall. So yeah, that would be absolutely amazing to talk to them firsthand and kind of unwrap these ideas a little bit more. But if anything in today's episode sparked your interest, I really encourage you to check out the links in the show notes to learn more about the companies and the tools that we've discussed. And of course, if you know someone who might benefit from these kinds of interventions, whether they're a caregiver, new parent, or just someone who loves music, send this episode their way. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Sound Mind. If you've enjoyed this episode, please rate or review on wherever you're listening, and don't forget to follow us and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Also, come and say hi on Instagram or Threads at The Sound Mind Talks. I always love to discuss the episodes with you and hear all of your amazing feedback. So yeah, just come and say hi and join the community. But until next time, keep listening, keep reflecting, and I'll see you on The Sound Mind.